All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. So, as you guys know, a couple days ago, there's been info leaked out. There's been some release that Shannon Sharpe, after the NBA Finals, will be leaving FS1, aka leaving Undisputed. Now, for anybody who knows me, knows I liked the show at first, and it got stale, boring. I took a massive dump on it multiple times. Took a massive dump on Shannon and Skip individually. But this leaves a question. Now, we can all assume that Shannon is going to go do his own thing on YouTube, Club Shay Shay, which is actually pretty entertaining. Club Shay Shay is actually good because Shannon's not being the fake idiot that he is on TV. So it's actually pretty good. And this made me think. I'm at work thinking, what would be a perfect replacement for Shannon Sharpe? And I came up to the conclusion. People are saying Michael Irvin. People say Jay Williams. People are saying Stephen A. Smith. I don't think it's none of that. I think Richard Sherman would be a great fit and perfect, great to be Skip Bayless's partner. And here's why. I made a checklist on my phone right now that I'm about to read to you right now as I put Richard Sherman up on my screen. I'm going to read this checklist. Richard Sherman. Skip Bayless's co-host has to be former athlete. Check. Watches football and basketball. Now, I know Richard Sherman does watch football a lot, and Skip Bayless's whole show is mainly about football. But I think Richard Sherman, if you give him enough money and you give him enough time, he'll get into basketball. I'm pretty sure Richard Sherman does watch basketball. He is from Compton, which is LA, which is a basketball state. Black, check. Woke, check. Pro-black, aka fake pro-black, check. The reason why I put that is some of you wokeities and some of you idiots and all you pro-blacks, and y'all gonna get mad at me when I say this. I really don't care. But let's be for real. Shannon and Skip talked about race. They talked about Kaepernick, and we all know Kaepernick can't go away. He always wants the attention on him. We all know there's going to be some race thing in the NBA and the NFL or in college, and it's going to get brought up. So Skip Bayless needs a black, woke, pro-black, aka fake pro-black, to counteract him, to talk about it. And that's what Shannon Sharpe was, and that's what Richard Sherman is. Richard Sherman's a woke idiot who's a fake pro-black. Let's not forget, Richard Sherman's the same one who said all lives matter before, stuff happened. But, it is what it is. But he can play that pro-black, woke stuff when something happens, when Colin Kaepernick's back in the news, or, some athletes alleging that they got called something or whatever. So it is what it is. Can hate on the Cowboys. Richard Sherman was, people forget, Seattle and the Cowboys used to have great matchup. It was when it was Tony Romo, Dez, and what's my man's name? DeMarco Murray versus, Legion of Boom. They had some great matchups. Now, do I think Richard Sherman hates the Cowboys per se? No. But I'm pretty sure he can play the gimmick pretty good. I mean, Shannon Sharpe didn't have a history of hating the Cowboys until he got on Undisputed. So if you give Richard Sherman enough time and enough money, he could develop some hate for the Cowboys. And most importantly, here's my big point. This is a come up for Richard Sherman to be on national TV with Skip Bayless. Say what you want about Skip Bayless. And trust me, I do. I think he's a clown. He can get you that clout. What was Shannon doing before Skip Bayless? Look at Club Shay Shay. Look how much Club Shay Shay has grown since Shannon became his own entity and started working with Skip. This is the perfect come up for Richard Sherman. And Richard Sherman does have a YouTube channel. He does have 41.6K, which is not bad. But, I mean, clearly you can look at his YouTube channel. And once again, 41K is not bad. I would kill for 41K right now. But he hasn't posted in like a year. So clearly either A, he needs a motivation, or B, he's trying to find some way to come up. And what a better way to do it than with Skip Bayless. Now, people are going to say, oh, RJ, what about the interview they had a few years ago? Listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this. This interview was, if you could put Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless, put the money on the table for Richard Sherman and say, put up with Skip Bayless for a 4-year contract for this. The money's good. And also you have this, where this is going to be the elephant in the room. That's going to bring in ratings. And when you bring in ratings, you bring in more money to Undisputed. When you bring in more money, you bring in more money into Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless's pockets. So I honestly think if you can sit these guys down and say, listen, we're going to pay you this amount of money that they can't refuse, both of them, and to also sit here and say, this is going to bring in more money, which means your next contract, we're going to have more money to pay you more. I think the business sides and their money reading ways will come together and say, we can tolerate each other for 2.5 hours, for 2 hours, or an hour and a half. I think they can do it. And plus, we don't know if Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless really hate each other. I know they had this thing back in the day, but this was 10 years ago. This was like 2013. This was literally a decade ago. I literally remember this interview back when I was in middle school. So I honestly think it can work. I think Richard Sherman. Now I could be wrong. I don't. They could have Skip's replacement be announced tomorrow. But I'm posting this video today just to show, hey, you never know. You never know. But that's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What do you think about my take? And who do you think Skip Bayless' next partner was going to be? People say Michael Irvin. I mean, I guess I can see it, but Michael Irvin's kind of in the whole grinder. He's in the blender right now for something. I don't want to mention it. And also, like, you have to have someone who counters Skip Bayless as cowboyish. Like, you can't have two guys who love the Cowboys talking about just having a big cowboy fest every Sunday. And I think Richard Sherman can act like he hates the Cowboys and act like, back when he was playing, which he probably did, hated the Cowboys. People said Rob Parker. I would not like to see that. Rob Parker's trash. I don't know. I mean, Stephen A. I mean, we know Stephen A. ain't leaving ESPN, and Skip Bayless is literally just signed a contract. So, hey, we'll see what happens, man. But that's my thoughts. What are yours? RJ out.